Hey everybody, it's Mike here, and I'm back with another boot review. And it's been a while since I have done a boot review, but I did get a specific request, and I decided, well, that might be a good time to go ahead and do one then. So what the request was to review my Los Altos boots. I'd gotten a comment on one of my older videos for my Los Altos Caiman boots, and the request was to come back after it's been so long and describe how they feel, any pros, the cons of Los Altos, and compare them to themselves on which one might be better, any problems with them, and just overall assessment. So I decided, okay, it's been a while, so I'll go ahead and do it. And I'll first start by saying I've had 4 pair of Los Altos boots. I've had the brown sanded lizard. I have the honey colored Caiman, and I had 2 pair of full quill ostrich. One chocolate brown and one was a cognac color. I sold the cognac full quill ostrich on eBay, and I gave the brown, the chocolate brown full quill ostrich to a friend. So I'm just have 2 Los Altos boots left. And I will say I am very satisfied with Los Altos boots. I do have several other brands of boots, and I do rotate them very regularly. So the wear, some don't have way more wear, and others are look like they just came out of the box, or like have been worn once or something. I regularly wear all my boots, and I intentionally do that to kind of keep them lasting longer. Um, and it's worked. And just the different feels and styles, I like that as well. But getting back to Los Altos, the 2 pair that I do have, like I mentioned, are the brown sanded lizard. So these are like a matte color, and I really like that matte color with this texture. I think they look great. I always get the snip toe. So that's one thing I like about Los Altos is that their snip toe, it's not too pointy. I've seen these 1X and 2X, and they're like they're like razors, daggers. But I'm not too fond of that look. But the regular snip toe by Los Altos, I think is great. I think it's wide enough where it's not too sharp and narrow, but you can definitely tell it's a snip toe, not a round toe, J toe, or a cutter toe or anything like that. But I'm definitely satisfied with how they designed their snip toes. I do have a snip toe in another boot that is definitely pretty pointy, and I have another one in that other same brand that isn't so pointy. So I know they're definitely made a little differently. And but Los Altos has been consistent in their snip toe. Well, anyway, going back to the boot review, starting with the lizard, um, they've been extremely comfortable. Starting off with comfort, I've had no problems. They do have um, in the inside there is a padding that it's not removable, but it's the cushion is I like it. I have no problem. You can always remove it if you want. I mean, you have to pull it out, but it's thin enough where it's not really obstructing your foot, and it's got enough cushion where you feel a little bit of cushion. I really like the sizing of Los Altos, and that is across the board. All 4 of the Los Altos boots that I've had have been, the sizing has been uniform. I've gotten some other boots and other brands, and I know they're more handmade and the sizing a little off because they are handmade. Los Altos, however they're making their boots, there's, at least in my experience, has been a very consistent um, feel. And they have been true to size. All of them have been true to size. I've had no problems, and I have no qualms about ordering another Los Altos my size. And yeah, I think they win on consistency. Um, Another thing is that they've held their look. I've kind of worn these quite a bit since I've had them for a while, and you can see the wear on the bottom for this one, and it's still, you can see the brass nails, and then the pegs are on the inside. They're still there. I mean, nothing wrong, but the bottom here, you can definitely see the sole is, it's definitely got a good amount of wear on it. And my heel, the way I walk, is running over on the cap. So it hasn't gotten to the stacked leather yet, but it's getting there. So I do have to watch that. I don't want to get into that being damaged. But also the coloring along the sole um, has kept. I haven't scraped it or scuffed them in any way, luckily. So yeah, they've held up. The shafts you can see are a little bit, coming in a little bit here from all the random wear and whatnot. Um, but overall, I have had no problem. The vamp and the shaft counter still pretty tight, and I've worn these quite a bit because I've got these were one of my first pairs of boots before I got into boots. I've always had like one pair, and when I started getting into purchasing multiple pairs, these were the first ones, and I'm very happy with them. Yeah, I can definitely see. You can definitely see. I do have quite a bit of wear on the bottom, but it's. I'll have to keep a watch on the sole and the heel cap. Going with the, looking over at the light pair, the Cayman, you can see a little bit more, the shaft is coming in a little bit from the wear. Um, Once again, it looks like there's a good amount of wear on the sole as well. And you can actually see one of the nails here and the brass color. So yeah, I definitely have been wearing these quite a bit as well, since they are a little bit older, the shaft a little bit caving in there. So the I would say once again, like I said, the consistency from these pair to this pair, even to the ostrich that I gave away and sold, the snip toe is just right on size. The comfort, extremely comfortable. I have no problems with putting these on, and I feel like there's no pain, there's no tightness, there's no soreness when I'm done wearing them, or while I'm wearing them. I haven't gotten any blisters. They have definitely been consistent in the comfort level for sure. And once again, I haven't like scuffed these up either. They still have the dye there as well. And yes, I do have wear on the heel cap as well. Have to watch that as well. And the leather themselves for both actually have, they've really held up well. I mean, I got caught in some a little bit of rain once, but it didn't do, if any, damage that I can see. And they have kept the color that they were shipped in, and these are exactly what I like and what I wanted. And they delivered well. One thing I will say is that I always like to get like a pair of light boots and a pair of dark boots, and that gives me the option, and to wear what I want when I want. If I have certain clothes that I need a dark boot, I have the dark boot, and then if I need to wear light, I've got that to change it up or make it, give me a different variety. And Los Altos have light and dark boots. They both worked fine. Um, I can't say between the two that one is better than the other. They are almost identical in comfort. I would say I just basically wear them for whatever event I'm going to. It depends just what I'm wearing, whether I'll pick the light or the dark. It's not like, oh, these fit me, these are more comfortable, or these just aren't as comfortable, but I like the look better, so I'm going to go with them. No, it's even. It just depends on the event or the occasion on which one I'll pick. I know a lot of people might, say Los Altos. They're not like a really high end brand. They're not like a famous brand of boot. They are out there, kind of like of like under the radar type of brand of boots. You don't really hear too much about them. I haven't really seen too many reviews specifically about Los Altos, but I know they are late. I have done individual boot reviews, and they are made in Leon, Mexico. And you can see I have my boxes here. And yeah, they do have a lot of, I think they promote a lot of exotics. When I was purchasing my Los Altos, they primarily had snip toes for men. And now I've gone to the store and I've seen in person, they do have a lot of like they have more cutter toe and the wider toe and more the wide square toe. They still do have the snip toes, but they've definitely expanded. I think there was a big demand for the broad square toe, and they definitely have moved into that market as well for men. So there's quite more variety. If you haven't had Los Altos, but you just like the cutter toe or the broad square toe, they do have those now, and a pretty good variety of those. It's not just snip toe so much with them. Um, I do a lot of shorts, YouTube shorts, just walking in the boots, so you can get an idea of what they look like with different dark jeans, light jeans. I even did one with white jeans recently that I got new with my various boots. But yeah, like I say, I definitely think these are Los Altos are sort of an under the radar type of brand of boot, and they're not extremely, the high end name. But I think when it comes to boot, it's more preference, and it depends how they feel for you, what your use is. Are you working on them? Are you just wearing them to go out in? Are they more for formal events, or are they for casual events, or like I say, daily wear outside or daily wear indoors as well, depending what you want. I think these boots would definitely hold up either way. I have got, like I mentioned, caught in some tough situations with them, and no damage. Um, and they still keep a good look. Just the shaft, from wearing them over time is kind of crimped in a little bit here. You can see here, and that's just because I like them and I still wear them. I will have to watch the soles to make sure they don't get too worn down, and then the heel cap. But they have, like I mentioned, I do rotate my boots so they aren't getting worn daily. Of course, if you wear them every day, yeah, they're going to wear down a lot quicker. Um, Aesthetics, I would say, I kind of like the lizard a little bit better. I just like that type of boot, the look, the texture, the colors. The Caymans are perfect for certain like light jeans. They have a great color. They get a lot of compliments. Believe it or not, I get a lot more compliments wearing these than these. But I do personally probably prefer the lizard. I like the way the look of the leather goes. And yeah, like I said, I've had no problems. And I recommend Los Altos. I've looked at them recently, but I haven't seen anything that I would probably go and get. I might look at another pair of ostrich. Um, but another thing is, I will say, is the quality, the sewing. I've had no problem with any of the stitching. And some other boots, sometimes the threads are coming off, or it just sort of like they wear down quicker. I don't know what it is, but these boots have definitely held up. And I think the only, if we want to talk some cons, sure, I would say compared to some other boots that I have, let's say like Blackjack, for example, maybe if you're looking more like aesthetic wise, not so much just functional, the shafts are a little bit not as high end, let's say, as some other brands, and you sort of get what they offer. So they make the boot, and if you like it, you buy it. Whereas other brands, you can sort of pick what you like, pick the colors, pick the leathers, sort of put it together your way or what you want. That is, something that's more customized. Where these are, they look great on their own, but you have to like it. Like if you say, "Oh, I'd like a different color shaft," well, this is what they sell, so you sort of have to go with it. So that would be a con. They're sort of like, you have to, like, you take what's off the shelf or what's being offered. Not that that's a problem, you know. The other, I think, con is that, yeah, like I mentioned, the shafts, they don't seem as high end as like some other boots. But if you're wearing them jeans over them, nobody's going to see anyway. So I mean, even if you have the greatest stitch design that looks cool, whatever, no one's really going to see them except when you know, take them off, and that's usually the case. Um, but yeah, so the shaft is not as high end as some of the other boots I have, or may look as good. But you know, i- nothing's perfect. But the leathers have held up. I wouldn't say that they're cheap. I mean, they definitely have held up. So that's another pro. Um, I think these are some of the best points about them. And like I mentioned, just the shaft kind of might be not looking as high end as some other boots. You know, there's plenty of other brands, but yeah, I think I would recommend them as, you know, entry level boots as well as you know, mid level boots. I mean, they have definitely held up, and especially now that they've made so many more like broad square toe boots. I don't really buy broad square toe or cutter, but if you're interested in those, you could try those, and see how they compare or work for you. Everyone's different; it's always personal preference. But definitely, comfort has been one thing where I can put these on and I know I'm good. Never had any problems, um, any soreness, tightness. I do like the little cushion pad inside, and it it's still there, and it still has some cushion in it too. And I've worn these a lot, so you know, you're getting some pretty good quality um, for the brand. You know, like I said, it's sort of an under the radar brand, and aesthetics are nice. They do have a nice stitch pattern. It's not skimpy. They don't you know, skimp out and put a couple, you know, thread lines and that's it. You know, no, they make a, definitely, you can see it. They put enough thread. It's done pretty professionally, I would say. It's got a good look to it, and I really like these. I haven't had any problems. And in fact, as I mentioned, I get a lot of compliments with the Cayman. Just people I don't know, just, oh wow, nice boots. That people who probably don't normally wear boots. And but so yeah, so if you're looking for looks or aesthetics, they've got them. And I think one of the um, one of the most important points, though, I think of the Los Altos for me is just the comfort and knowing that I get a snip toe, because a lot of other brands don't do snip toes as much, and Los Altos was one that I think a lot of their initial boots were snip toes, and that's what I like. I prefer the snip toe and the comfort. And I went with the snip toe, and then they've been comfortable since. I was a little reluctant, but I got another pair, and I'm like, wow, these look great. They feel great too. So there's been no problem. Kind of cool too. They're not like just make a boot and get it out. They put a lot of effort into it, because inside the shaft for the lizard, it says genuine lizard Tehu in there. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, and then they have the sizes, and then the big Los Altos logo, and then the identification number or some numbers to, I guess, determine what lot they were made or where they were made. And like I mentioned before, they are made in Leon, Mexico, and they do stamp that inside. They give the USA size and the Mexican size. And so they definitely aren't just hurry up and get it out. They definitely have put out a good product. Oh, and something that's really cool about Los Altos, and it's in all the boots that I've gotten from them, is that the inside, in the shaft, there's no seam. They cover it, well, they make the seam flat. In other boots, the seam kind of crimps out a little bit, so there's that edge that kind of pokes, like, let's say, into your leg a little bit. Well, it's flat in Los Altos boots. So if that's ever been an issue with you, that it just makes it more comfortable, because it's smooth all the way around in the shaft, bunch of my other boots, like I say, I have, they don't have it smooth like this. They just sort of leave the seam kind of sticking out on either side. And I wear boot socks when I wear my boots, and they stay up. They don't have a problem with these boots. They are perfect size. They don't make it too tight, and they don't make it too small, whatever. And they do stay up. The other thing with Los Altos is that, like I mentioned, I think the stitching is really good because I pulled on the pull tabs many times, you know, to get them on and stuff, and they haven't like ripped or like started to like wear or anyway, and they definitely have held their own over time. The other thing I would say is with Los Altos is that the shaft size it's not super thin, but it's not super huge. It's sort of in this medium realm where they're a little, depending on what kind of jeans you're going to wear, they might show a little bit because they're a little bit wider than some of my other boots, but not as wide as I have another brand of boot that they have very wide shafts, and they usually show, they can show. But these are, they're not super wide, but a little wider, I would say, than normal. But I haven't had any problems with my jeans, but it's just depending on what you're used to. Their shafts are a good size. So if you have like larger calves, it would definitely be fine. If you have really thinner legs or thinner calves, you know, they might be a little bit wide on you. But, you know, I haven't had any problems anyway. And I'm focused more on the comfort, the walking. And like I say, to me, they've been true to size. No issues. So it's like I've mentioned, it's been a while since I've had these boots. It's not just like a week. I've had them for years. And when I got them initially, I wore them a lot. And then as I collected more boots and I started wearing them, I do rotate. So I'm still wearing them, but not just as often as when I first got them, because I had fewer boots. These were it. You know, I was wearing these all the time. And yeah, they still are going strong, and the comfort is still there. The soles, yeah, they'll get there. They'll need to be replaced. I will keep these. I do like them both. They both have been solid, and I'm definitely going to keep them. So I totally recommend them. I don't, you know, after years of wearing them, I have no problem with them, and have never had any problems with them. That's why I've had 4 pair. But we'll see. We'll see what happens next if I go for another pair of Los Altos. But yeah, I definitely would recommend them. Definitely entry level, or just if you want like a mid-level everyday boot or working boot, or you just don't want to spend a lot. They have the qualities there for what they are. Well, I hope this has been helpful. It's going over specifically Los Altos only boots. And like I just mentioned, I definitely recommend them. And thank you for watching. And I hope this has helped in any decision making, whether you like Los Altos or don't like Los Altos. Either way, all brands have their their pros and their cons, and it comes down to personal preference. Well, thanks again for watching. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. And thanks again.